Welcome to Storyteller, a profile series highlighting the dreams, journeys, and achievements of our students, alumni, and supporters, presented by Doyon Foundation. Chukdringwe shalakshja nai nahwa di dikenjet winkosho ilit masicho nawaicha nithan Chukdrin Kim Nicholas va di dit matsaki iha and chiti tikikinchik ha kuchitakwahin inchit bahalkat masicho chanhe masicho naicha nithan. Welcome everyone. Very glad to see you, glad to be with you. Today we have a guest, Kim Nicholas, and I'll be speaking with her about the work she's doing with Denaakk'e, Athabascan language, and different projects she's been working on. So I'm very happy to introduce and to welcome Kim Nicholas.
Yay! Thank you, Allan. Thanks for inviting me also. I'm really happy to be here. So, Maendazun, Kimberly Nicholas sa Uza, Ina Thelma Saunders Mauza, yes, Ita Lauren Saunders Mauz Gala. Sakan Eli Nicholas Mauza and Sidnaka Sida Gianna Yes Eli Habuza. Gafta Hut and Danslet. Fairbanks, Leicester. So my name is Kimberly Nicholas. My parents are Thelma Saunders and the late Lauren Saunders from Caltech. My husband is Eli Nicholas, and we have 3 children, Sida, Gianna, and Eli, and we're from Caltech, but we live here in Fairbanks.
Awesome. It's very good to have you here with us today. I'm trying to think when we first met, it might have been at the university, right? You were taking Tanaka there.
Yes, years ago.
Lorraine David was teaching and Siri Tuttle was also in the classroom. And I think we took also the comparative Athabascan grammar class there at the university. So I don't know, that's the first time I met you, but I imagine you must have been involved in language learning much sooner than that, or much going further back. So would you like to share like when you started learning Denaakk'e?
I grew up here in Denaakk'e. So in my house, my mom and dad always had visitors, aunts and uncles and grandmas and grandpas. And my parents are a little bit older, so they used to speak Denaakk'e to each other all the time. And so I just grew up listening to stories. One of my favorite memories was my bedroom was upstairs, and I'd just be I'd wake up in the morning and I'd just listen to all the chatter going on downstairs when there was potlatch or something in Caltech, and all the grandmas and grandpas and everybody was busy cooking and visiting downstairs. I'd listen to them. So I grew up hearing and listening to it. And then also in school, we had bilingual teachers in Caltech. So we had it in school also. And then when I first moved up here to the university, I wanted to do language, but there was no Denaakk'e teachers at that time. So when Lorraine David started teaching alongside Siri Tuttle, I jumped. I took all her classes, and then I took the writing class with Siri, and then I eventually got enough credits in that language to do like a minor in Alaska Native languages. So that was cool.
Wow.
But so just learning. And recently I've just been kind of like making a transition to like teaching others just the stuff I know, and then putting people in touch with like language mentors, and just learning and creating a language community, I think.
Uzum.
Yay!
So why would you say that language learning and sharing is important to you?
I think just to continue like our community, I think. And it's important to me to teach my kids. And I really would like to start speaking and understanding and listening to stories. Like my Aunt Lidwin in Caltech, she tells lots of stories in Denaakk'e. And I can pick up bits and pieces of what she's saying, but I really would love to get to where I can understand her. And one of the things that I just remember is when my dad used to tell stories and stuff, and then he'd say it in English, and he said, um, "It would be so much funnier in Denaakk'e." And I was like, "Man, I really wish I could understand." So I think that's one of the things that drive me to keep going.
Awesome. So, who are some of the people who were helping you along this process as you were learning?
Um,
I think you mentioned some of them, but
so many people, so many people. There's a group of us right now that are kind of pushing forward, I think, with building community, and my cousin Delula, and Tisha and Dewey, and we all have families, and so I think all of us have. It's important for us to like teach our kids too. So
it's awesome.
yeah.
And yourself and Tallulah are going to be part of the Mentor-Apprentice Program that is upcoming.
Yeah, we just got an email a few weeks ago that we got accepted. Our language team got accepted to the Mentor-Apprentice Program through the Doyon Foundation. And I'm going to be paired up with my Aunt Lidwin from Caltech. I'm really looking forward to hearing her stories and being able to start a talk with her. When I go home to Caltech, I listen to her stories anyway, but I think just putting us together in this kind of space, there's like the intention that we'll learn from each other, and she'll teach me, and stuff like that. And Delula is also gonna be paired up with my mom, so I'm really looking forward to it. I think it'll be good.
I think that's a good strategy to work together and support one another as you're going through this process. And
Yeah,
that's very important to have someone in your corner who understands, what you're going through, and you could help her, she could help you, and
yeah.
it's a
I'm
good.
real excited too because my mom Thelma and Lid, when they work well together, and I think it'll be good.
Yeah. What other type of activities have you been involved with in language?
I think more recently with the way things have gone with the pandemic and everything, we kind of switched our language group, Denaakk'e, to Zoom. So we have an online language community that we're growing, and people come on like once a week for like an hour. We're doing it at lunch times right now. Um, but we're open to having a weekend one or evening one. We just want to like create a language learning community, and make everyone feel like they can do it.
That's great.
Yeah.
And you're also involved with the Molly of Denali dubbing project we have.
Yeah.
Lorraine.
So we auditioned, me and the kids. So me and my three kids, we send in an audition tape, and we got accepted to be a part of the Molly of Denali Denaakk'e. I think there's 2 episodes.
Yeah, there's two stories. It's the Have Canoe Will Paddle and
Yeah.
Name Game.
Yeah.
They're two stories that were translated by Lorraine David, along with her sister Alberta, and they did a great job. I need to go record her, but um, we're just getting started in that process. But I'm very glad you're working together as a family on that
Yeah.
project. I think you mentioned
We're,
also there's some
yeah.
culture camps you're traveling to as a part of your job.
Yep. Currently, I'm working with the Division of Wellness and Prevention at TCC, and we are gearing up for the culture camp, all the culture camps this summer. So far we've got to Alakakit, and then we have Ruby, Nolado. Huslia. I think those are the ones having culture camps, and I'm hoping to reach out to a few more villages and see if what kind of activities they have planned. And it's nice now that everything's kind of slowly opening back up again, and we're kind of starting to move back, like focus our services back out in the village, which is really good.
Yeah, that's great. And do you have any like techniques that you find helpful as you're learning? Whether it's like flashcards or just some people have mnemonics where a sound will help them remember what the word is, or things like that.
There's a few that I picked up over the years. Um, I'm not sure the technical terms of them, but I think Susan taught us to break the words down by like syllable and then go backwards.
Okay.
So we'll start with the last syllable first, and then at the middle, and then the beginning, and then we'll say the whole word. And somehow, I'm not sure the technical stuff, but that works. Also, in our house, we have a whiteboard on our wall, and we write phrases and Denaakk'e on there. Or, the kids are free and they'll write stuff on there, like "go feed your dogs" or "take the dogs out." Just stuff like that that we say there. And I'm so happy. They'll just say stuff like "ana masi," around the house, and or "nani Tanaka,"
Uh-huh.
and it just makes me happy that they're actually using words, because a lot of us know a lot of words. So
I really like that strategy with starting at the end of the word, because that's where the stem of the Athabascan verbs, and then they conjugate in the other direction. So I love that approach, because that could be the hard part, is learning the verbs. You could learn a lot of vocabulary, like lists and lists of nouns, animals, colors, on and on. But then if you don't know how to utilize the verbs, that could stop you from speaking in full sentences.
yeah, and that's what I like. It seems like some of our words or phrases are one really long word, so I think it helps to break it down like that. And
Yeah.
then I work a lot with kids. So like my background is in working with kids and Head Start age kids, and um, using silly voices when you're saying words helps. Using monster voices when you're saying words, that helps. And I think the kids love it. They pick it up right away like that, when it's playful and fun, and you can make mistakes and you just move on.
Yeah, that's very important as well, that mistakes are allowed. You can't,
Mm-hmm.
nobody's perfect, but it's a part of the learning process to make mistakes, and then you correct yourself, or you eventually start picking it up. But is there any challenges that you have found as you've been going along?
I think one of the biggest challenges that I feel like I had to overcome was like living outside my community and not being around my parents or my aunties or grandmas as much when I first moved up here. Um, and up here in Fairbanks, there's a lot of people from home and Catholic, but we're all spread out all over. So I think just being in a close knit community, or not being in one, was a bit of a challenge in terms of my language learning and stuff. Um, but I think with this online Zoom learning community, it kind of like brought us all like focused in again, and it feels good. I like it.
Yeah, that is important. I think when we are in Fairbanks, a lot of times we just don't see each other. There's a
Yeah,
lot of Quichen speakers here in town, but they're all in their own, going to their work and their jobs and their homes, and they don't end up seeing each other as often.
yeah.
So I've heard that from very fluent speakers. Even they'll forget, how did we say that again? just just because you're not speaking it as often. Yeah, that's important. So
I was just with my cousin that we need to learn how to play pan so we could speak in Denaakk'e. So we would get everybody together.
pen. Those games can go on for days too, right?
Oh yeah, yep.
What kind of plans do you have for the future for language learning, teaching?
I think just continuing to like keeping this Zoom going. Also, I want to start like having in-person meetings and gatherings again and creating spaces for with the intention to like cook and talk or feed people and talk, stuff like that. And also I would like to start practicing our songs again, our traditional songs. We used to have a group, an active group here in Fairbanks called like the Downriver Singers. And we used to practice all the time, and you know, we haven't in a really long time.
Oh,
And yeah, that's one of the things that like I think it's good for like my wellness when I'm singing in Denaakk'e, or when I say things, when I have a little even like a little text conversation with one of my friends in Denaakk'e is um, it just makes you feel good. So
awesome. As a part of this interview, sometimes we've been asking any guests if they'd like to share like a word that we would feature as a word of the month. Would you like to
mhm.
share something?
Yeah, I was thinking about that, and since it's like the time where we'd normally like all be out on the river, subsistence fishing, and doing things with our family, I was thinking about the word gash, which is the king salmon.
Beautiful. We'll share that
Yeah.
with our on our website for July. And
Thank
July
you.
is the King Salmon month, in which end we say he or no sukchozri, sukchoz, king salmon, big fish basically, and zri is the moon.
Oh, look, so big fish.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, I get it.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Is there anything else you'd like to share with us today?
I just would love for everybody to like, just if you know words, start saying words out loud. One of the things that helped me with my intro, or just if I was practicing a phrase, is when I'm driving in the car, I'll just say it out loud, and just speaking it out loud helps. So,
Awesome.
yeah.
It's a good bit of advice there, and a lot of good things you've shared. Thank you for spending your time with us today. And I know you're very busy, and busy mother, busy at work, and a lot of things. So,
Oh, yeah.
so thank you.
Oh, you're welcome. It's good to see you again.
All right. Take good care. Quincy at the
Okay.
county. Okay.
Um, Adugoy Ali Gali Tanik.
Okay.
I'm practicing that one.
Awesome.
Take good care of yourself.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
All right. Enjoy.
Okay. Bye, Alan.
And now, yeah. For more Storyteller profiles, visit doyonfoundation.com/storyteller.